With United retaining interest in Sancho, executive co-chairman Joel Glazer has confirmed the club will support Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the transfer market this summer. Glazer was speaking at a fans forum today, where he also promised investment to Old Trafford and the training ground. It was his first appearance at the event in 16 years, coming in the wake of United's involvement in the failed European Super League. Today, Glazer outlined proposals including the creation of a fan advisory board to consult with the club's senior leadership and owners. Our goal is to win every competition we compete in, they say, and we will continue to invest in our academy and in the transfer market to support the manager in an effort to meet the club's goals. As owners, we want exactly the same thing as the fans, a successful team and a strong club, and we want to work in partnership to achieve those objectives. Fans are the lifeblood of Manchester United, and I'm personally committed to ensuring that they are given an enhanced voice through the creation of a fan advisory board and a fan share scheme.
Thought it was a really open, constructive and frank discussion, and like you said, was very emotional at times, and I think Joel and the fans forum members really did speak from the heart, so that was great. I think though, more importantly for me, it really represents a first step in what I think hopefully is going to be a resetting of the relationship between the club and its fans, and in particular the amount of involvement and engagement that we do in the things that really matter and are important to them. I think also that Joel was really grateful actually to have the opportunity to talk to the fans forum around his long-term plans and what the club means to him and his family. So I think all round, I think it really was a productive meeting.
Well, while the club were positive about the outcomes from today's forum, Manchester United Supporters Trust claimed that Glazer was held to account today regarding his family's ownership of the club. In a first ever meeting between Joel Glazer and the Man United Fans Forum, in which there was a frank exchange of views, it was revealed that Manchester United is in talks with M.U.S.T about a potentially revolutionary new fan share scheme. Joel Glazer was held to account on a series of issues, including debt, dividend payments, ticket prices, lack of investment in the stadium and lack of engagement with supporters for 16 years. Well, M.U.S.T is cautious about whether this fan share scheme will meet their own tests before they give it approval. Right, for more on this we can speak to our reporter James Cooper. Hi there, James. By all accounts, an emotional meeting. Colette Roche, they're describing it as pretty productive too. What's going to happen now to improve the relationship between the owners and the fans?
Yeah, I think that's the key question, because after waiting for so long, suddenly we've had a major about turn when it comes to Manchester United, a historic day, bearing in mind, of course, we're talking about ownership that goes back to 2005, and we haven't heard a peep from the Glazers since then, and then suddenly we get all this today where there were an awful lot of frank questions from people who've challenged that ownership over the many years, and even prior to the Glazers in terms of how Manchester United is kind of set up and set out. And I think, you know, what United fans want more than anything is a say and greater representation, and Joel Glazer has kind of committed towards that. I think what the critics will say is, well, these are fine words. We had an apology less than a month ago. We've now got more progressive words, but we need to see actions. You know, there will be this new share scheme. I think, you know, what fans want, what supporters want is equal rights to the Glazers and those shares to mean something. I mean, we're talking about a situation where, you know, fans further down the road had shares compulsory purchase from them. There was a lot of hurt gone from that. So they need to know that this share scheme means something. And it's all very well talking about this being the largest share scheme involving fans at a football club in the world. That they need to see kind of the nuts and bolts of that. And equally, they need greater representation. They need a better voice. And I think this fans advisory group will go some way towards that. I think it's a building upon the fans forum, which we saw today in terms of Joel Glazer making his first appearance, though virtually. And I think what the fans advisory group will do is have greater say alongside the board of Manchester United for making sure that they're more accountable. So I think, you know, there is progress. I think Colette Roche is right. It was challenging, but I think it is a big step forward. I think what we will now need to find out, and what supporters want to know, whether it's the huge step that they hope and think it might be for Manchester United, or whether it's another false step and we have a kind of another 16 years without hearing anything. I don't think it will be that, because I think this is the blip, and the hope is that this will be changed for the better.
One of the takeaways for fans will be the promise of investment, won't it?
Yeah, that's right. And as you've said yourself, off and on the pitch, you know, firstly off the pitch, I think there's no great surprise in the fact that Manchester United and Old Trafford, it has seen some kind of reinvestment over recent years, certainly with the disabled facilities, have been fantastic and kind of leading the way when it comes to facilities for disabled football fans. But I think, as a whole, we've got a 76,000 seat stadium that has been kind of overshadowed by other developments that other teams. And I think what we will see is significant investment in changing things at Old Trafford. Equally, Carrington, when it first came online in 1999, all that time ago, prior to the Glazers, it has aged. Whether it's fit for purpose, I think, is another question. There have been kind of preliminary looks and examinations about whether it's fit for business, what needs to change. And I think, again, significant sums, Joel Glazer says, will be put into Carrington to making it 21st century rather than late 20th century, as I feel it is now. And you've talked tonight about the Jadon Sancho deal. Manchester United would like to do a deal for that. I think the stumbling block right now is the price that Borussia Dortmund are holding out for. I think it's slightly higher than Manchester United were thinking they'd have to pay or would want to pay, but I think that's how a deal works, so they've got to work things out there. But I think a lot of the paperwork and in terms of the wages and things like that would have been sorted out almost a year ago, so I don't think there'll be a problem there. It is just the fee. But I think, again, Joel Glazer said there will be significant investment in the transfer market this summer, and I think what you could expect to see is at least one marquee signing arriving for Manchester United, and I think there could be 2 or 3 other new faces in key positions for Manchester United as well. But perhaps, it won't be the spending that Manchester United fans want, simply because we're talking about another year without fans at Old Trafford under COVID circumstances, and I think they really are trying to make all the money they've got stretch to do enough business rather than perhaps the business that most Manchester United fans would dearly like.
James, thank you.